I say, whoa now, Dad, it's your mans and them, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video on the Bamboozled Again News Network. Trying to help y'all and as well help myself not to get bamboozled out here. Because the game is mad wicked, B. And it seems as though for those who, let's say, are of the chosen ilk, right? It's like, when the word says, when you're going through, I'm paraphrasing again, when you're going through something, basically trust and believe that your other brothers are enduring the same thing. It seems as though we're in our own similar, own personal ways. We're all going through similar stuff. As it seems, not just in society, but in our personal lives, the spiritual warfare has ramped up another level. Probably before the breakthrough, the one last ditch effort to pull you back into the crab of buckets or pull you back on into the matrix of the social plantation. You know what I mean? Uh, and I also highlight, I believe the brother who has the channel Saving Souls Ministry. Uh, Subscribe to him if you so choose to. I think the brother who comments on here, Nart the Light, shout out to him and another sister. Forgive me, her name escapes me at the moment. Had highlight. Well, I believe it was Nart the Light or Saving Souls, but they basically all three alluded to, just doing your due diligence to protect yourself. So I guess Genghis Khan had made a video. I forgot what the title was, but I so happened to check it out when someone, a comment highlighted. And as I say, now, do I believe the man is completely gone? Yeah. But I have the ability now to, as they say, take the meat and spit out the bones. And he was going through, I guess his critique of how you should move out here. And I found it valid. Granted, I'm still open-minded to, gravitating to like-minded individuals. But I would agree that I see that this society, the people you encounter, no matter how they look, more often than not, are probably of the world. Or at the very least, as we call it, an NPC. Now, all NPCs ain't bad. Like how SRBG man say, the guy who works at Walmart for 20 years, even on New Year's Eve, he's not a bad dude. He's just not awakened. You know what I'm saying? And being able to identify and differentiate the individuals you encounter. But Genghis Khan was talking about basically protecting yourself out here. Of course, you can do that with, weaponry and so on and so forth. But, you kind of walk a fine line with that. But legally speaking, which is in the space that I'm in, attempting to create a paper trail of documentation to show, verifiable incidents, so on and so forth. And I found that information to be very timely and valid in my own personal life as I've come up against someone who's been a thorn in my side for years on end. And to the point where enough is enough. I've shown enough grace. I've, been understanding. I've admitted, my part I played in the situation. But the situation ain't changing. And now it's time for a change. Change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. um, and then not only that, but yesterday, I went, I'm in this space where I'm getting back to fundamentals. Not that I was super far off the path, but sometimes you just gotta go back to basics, you know what I mean? So with me, kind of going back in nature, exercising at the park, being, around the trees and whatnot. So I went to the park yesterday, around the corner, and it's kind of on the edge of the hood, but, I'm familiar with the area. I feel comfortable, whatever, right? So I'm, getting ready to do my daily do, right? And, it's apartments that, encompass this particular park. So brother was at the, on the other side of the gate. He was like, oh, what, you ready to do some calisthenics? So I'm like, yeah. But, we so far away, I really couldn't hear him, you know what I mean? Excuse me. And normally, when I'm, like, completing tasks, I try to be very efficient, you know what I mean? I really don't be with a whole lot of small talk. I'm kind of in, out, okay, check that out the list, whatever, whatever. But I do find it very, because I really don't be fooling people in real life for the most part. But there are rare instances where you had that good conversation with a random person and time just escapes because I'm just in the moment. I'm like, yeah. Because I'm kind of starved for, intelligent or just genuine, real conversation, right? So the brother comes around and he says, he had just got out of jail about a month ago. And you could tell he was on the cock diesel tip. So I'm like, so he's showing me these videos of his calisthenic routine. He giving me some points. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So we get the vibing on the set, right? And then he states, some of his issues since he's come home. We ended up chopping it up about almost an hour and 15 minutes just on life. I'm sharing my experiences of, getting off drugs and, some of the things I had to endure, learn, woo. He's expressing some of, his concerns, coming home and living with a woman and how society has changed and da-da-da. And a lot of times as he was speaking, he was like kind of hard pressed to find the words to kind of, and then I would end up like finishing it for him. And when I would do that, he'd be like, yeah, yo, wow, yeah. So we chop it up some more. And then eventually, we dapped it up, we depart, we, exchanged numbers or whatever. And then, I finally got to my workout. And I wasn't, mad or anything about that, about the delay, but it just like let me know it's so real out here in the battlefield, especially when you try and do right. Now, this brother in question, he did 4 years, come home. He's about in his early 30s. So now he's a little more mature. So he like, yo, I'm trying to stay away from the streets. You know what I'm saying? But my homie's trying to pull me back in. I'm just trying to find a little job at, let's say, fast food. They telling me that's weak. They laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? But they quick to try to put a pack in my hand. I'm trying to navigate, parole, probation. You know what I mean? But I don't have a stable address. So just to get out, I use a shorty address who started contact right before I got out. Now, I didn't know this, but he was telling me how. Cause I used to wonder, because there been a couple incidents in Baltimore, and I seen a couple incidents in Chicago, where brothers was getting popped as soon as they got out of jail, like during there right in front of jail. I was like, God darn, that's brazen. But there's an app called Vine in which if you have someone's name, you can find out what facility they at and when they get out. So they looked his name up, seeing he was about to get out, and then started, putting money on his books, acting supportive, so that when he came home, he could use their address. And he was like, yo, when I came home, I started making workout videos. My man do videos, so I would send it to him. He Dr. Dre the joint, put it, upload it TikTok or wherever. He said, I'm getting thousands of views, like I'm getting a little motion, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm going wherever I'm going at, people recognizing me from the town. And then Shawty be like, you called, or you drawing too much attention. You need to stop. There it is. It's something that's positive for you, they telling you stop. So they feel more comfortable. So he like, well, just, to try to keep the peace. I'm like, all right, yo, whatever, right? So now she got you. You know what I'm saying? Then she get in and start smoking weed again and drinking. You know what I'm saying? It's cool at first. Now she's saying something about that. You understand? Now she's sowing seeds of doubt. Oh, you ain't got no money, da. But when you try to get some money the right way or become entrepreneurial, you stopping it. And then when I'm explaining my critique of the modern woman here, his eyes are lighting up like, yeah, yo, that's all I see, yo. Woo. So then I explained to him my path of attempting to gain leverage and not have people in authority over me who can dictate to me or hold me in a certain place, but really don't care nothing about me. You know what I'm saying? He almost teared up when I said, man, as a black man, you get to a point where you probably at where you look around and you be like, yo, I'm surrounded by wolves. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? The household all jacked up. Every time I try to go forward, something trying to pull me back or shame me into staying where I'm at. You know what I mean? He almost tells like, man, sometimes I feel like you just on earth and it's just you and God. He almost like to broke down, bro. So after he departed or whatever, and then the little homie Loach came out there, so they was pulling up and, kind of on the way, but it was all good though, you know what I'm saying? And it just, man, it just highlighted to me like how the black man, especially the young homie, because he was saying the same thing about the girl he deal with. Ain't none of the kids his, but all the kids have disabilities. You know what I mean? So she can get more money for them. And it's just so detestable out here, man. It's so wicked. Yo, we talk about white supremacy, the system, and all that. But the most dangerous person to the black man is his counterpart, the black woman. Now, back even when I was shucking and jiving, it was all to the good. You know what I'm saying? When I was living toxic and all that. But when I made small strides to just be a better man or to just do right by myself and others, man, you'd be surprised at the hate I caught or the intricate plots that were set up to stop me. You know what I'm saying? And here's the tripping part. They get joy out of, these people are so spiritually destitute. The only joy they receive outside of living carnally is the thought of causing you pain. The thought of you suffering in any, that's demonic, yo. And I see it all over the place. These people don't care about you. They just around you to gather enough information to hold you in a certain place so they can feel a certain sense of power over you. But when you start breaking free, they'll drop what they doing and construct their whole lives on stopping you. And more often times, you ain't did nothing to them. Yo, it's insane out here, and my heart breaks for the young homies and the young sisters as well who are growing up in these households being set up for failure and don't even realize it. Because we're in what, 2 or 3 generations of the broken home and all that. Yo, it's so bad. Like my mind was saying, like, and it's not all black women, of course. And I'm sticking more towards the black culture, right? It's not all, of course, but when all you see, and primarily in the hood, there's no men. And there's no men because sometimes, like with me, it's too dangerous to even try to help. Just like we see in our culture, when you try to help black folk, the same black folk you trying to help will take you out. You know what I mean? But then when you're gone and they need somebody, where are the men at? It's what I like to call the Barnabas principle. Even when we, like with the Lil Durk situation, you know what I mean? There are people saying, free Little Durk, who's allegedly committed unalivings. And we're saying free him. But nobody's saying, again, free Larry Hoover, who could probably come out and kind of bring some level of peace or awareness. We love, or in our culture, we esteem the worst of individuals and give them a pass and take their side. And they have just victimized their own people to no end. And this is who we idol worship. But in case of my man, the brother who come out of jail, nobody's putting him on game. he can't go, to the barber shop and tell his story, rapping with brothers, and be like, oh, you nice with your hands? Well, my man got a welding shop. I'm going to call and plug you in. We almost, even like the Hebrew Israelites, they don't have any type of functionality, like, training, skill trainings, anything like that. You still got to go to the white man, for the most part. You know what I mean? And then because of your record or the carnage of your past, which you've done and you're willing to own up to it, you're just trying to make a change. And then when you make a change, you get hit with all these obstacles and roadblocks. And it can be frustrating, to say the least. And then those thoughts will start popping in your head saying, man, F it. What's the point? What's the use? I might as well give. It's easier to give up. It's more peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Let me just hit this J, man. Ain't nothing gonna change, man. Ain't nothing out here, man. So let me escape. You know what I'm saying? That's what brothers trying to do. Brothers ain't trying to get hard because they horrible people like that. They're just trying to escape their reality. And they give you an escape. But they make it hard pressed for you to escape the matrix. We understand you want to escape the matrix. And we'll make it super duper hard for you to do that. Such as myself. But if you want to escape in the matrix, we got these drugs for you. We got these harlots for you. That's designed and created or conditioned, programmed to work against you. This is looking even more so every day, more like the Matrix movie every day, where you can be all right with something, but then when you start waking up, the people around you start getting hacked by Agent Smith and start working against your best interest. Or like, what's that movie, The Truman Show, where he wake up, now he come to discover like his wife and his best friend are actually working on behalf of the simulation or the TV show to keep him in a certain place. The tactics they're deploying are these greater levels of hypocrisy, projection, gaslighting. If you listen to it long enough, it'll scramble your brain. Because you know that didn't take place. But they so convincing with details of stuff that never happened. You be like, yo, what? So you can never get to the crux of the matter to get to a resolution. Because you're so busy attempting to put out wildfires that don't even exist. It's best to not fool with these people. But, in my personal situation, I'm at this point and I'm being led by the Most High, but I gotta get this out of my life once and for all, yo. Because I've come too far to take the drop now or to be hindered now. You know what I'm saying? I know that the Most High fights our battles. He goes before us, right? But I'm going to just do my practical one too, in the sense of, following a police report. You know what I'm saying? So I can get ahead of it. So if they come up and pop up with some made up Tory Lanez type of story, I've already been able to verify and document civilly, in the custody courts and, strategically within the court to make the whole town, these various agencies know and have a paper trail of what I'm saying is true and valid. Because if you don't get ahead of it, they'll construct some narrative that seems true based on circumstantial stuff and, the projection of emotionalism and so on and so forth. And you already know, as a man one, as a black man number two, you already looked at in a negative light anyway. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like I said, I catch more hell trying to do right for the sake of children, you know what I mean, than I ever did if I just didn't kill or, you know what I'm saying? But again, in the social construct, especially in the small town where I live at, these women are able to get their children diagnosed with, disabilities to get more money. You know what I'm saying? That's why ain't no men in the hood. Because if you try to, who is you tell, you know what I mean? Then they'll holler about you controlling. When everything is out of control. You know what I'm saying? But somehow you attempting to add guidance or leadership or wisdom and knowledge is controlling. You know what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope. Because like my man was saying, sometimes you just don't even want to deal with it. Like, look, go ahead, that story yourself, man. I ain't got no, just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, nah, you gotta fight the good fight. But then when you fight the good fight, it's warfare. And there is the propensity to have some blowback that could affect you legally, financially, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? It's real out here. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm saying to a greater level how real this spiritual warfare is and how real it's manifesting in real life or just your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. But my heart goes out to the homie because I've been there, man. I've been there, man. Me and bro chopped it up for a hot minute. You know what I'm saying? Just about mind stuff, life. You know what I'm saying? Keeping your mental health. Like you said, that's, when I was locked up, that's how I got into the calisthenics and whatnot. Just trying to keep my brain together and release those endorphins and, you know what I mean? Whoop, de whoop, de whoop. I come out, the thing I use to keep me alright, they shaming me for it, talking about I'm trying to use to get women. You know what I mean? These shaming tactics. For why you know what I'm saying? That's why I say, like, in the whole dating game, you're toxic if you actually have standards. But the same individual who said you're toxic for having standards has absolutely no standards, and you can't hold them accountable. Yo, we're perishing, bro. Yo, whatever goes down with the fall of this society, boy, yo, if people are acting like this behaviorally now, if you can't trust your friends now, in this backdoor culture like we seen with Lil Durk and, lining up your friends and you never know who working for the government and all this here, man. Imagine when there's some slight discomfort. Whenever there's some slight discomfort, the average person loses their top. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to discomfort. It's what created all the character. You know what I'm saying? Or the ingenuity or the, so on and so forth. Slight discomfort. A slight drop in finances. Man, folk ready. Wow. It's truly demonic about ya. You know what I mean? But at the same time, in the midst of emotions and vexation, mental vexation, you still have to critically think and do what you had to do within your power to protect yourself. And it's crazy because the brother Intuitive Anthony was just talking about this, having gone through a similar situation. You know what I mean? It seems like we're all going, or we all have been assigned some type of demonic entity inhabiting some human we know who is hell bent on distracting us, hell bent on stopping our progress, hell bent on shaming us socially and with made up stories and so on and so forth. Yes, sir. Hey, but this is part of the journey. I gotta remind myself. You know what I'm saying? That we're commanded to fear not, and know that the Most High is with us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not necessarily fearful of like anything somebody would do. What I'm actually fearful of is myself and what I'll do to stop someone who's attempting to stop me from doing me. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I look at everything like warfare. Like I know how to stop. And I ain't talking about like, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about none of that. Like I know where your wheelhouse is. I know how to go on such an offensive you can't muster up one because the blitzkrieg is just so pronounced. You know what I'm saying? So you're so uh, immersed with that, you ain't got time to load up on me. And I don't take joy in hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I'll do whatever I deem necessary to keep me safe and to protect my progress and my peace. You don't have a right to keep fooling with, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a right to disrespect me. You don't have a right to attempt to cause discord and so on and so forth because you don't want nothing out of life. Because you not willing to put in the work. And here's something else I noticed, right? See, when you put in the work, and I get it now when older folk used to tell me, like, you value the labor of your hands. You know what I'm saying? So you cherish, you're a better steward of it. But with the way the system is set up, with the system giving them a pass for reprehensible behavior and just receiving money just for having kids and being able to vex men for whatever reason just because you feel like it. They don't value anything. The entitlement is astronomical. And they think somehow that we supposed to bow down to them. How am I bow down to scum masquerading as if they are valuable? The victimizers are claiming to be victims when that's all they've ever done. And then want sympathy when the blowback happens. Just like P. Diddy. He victimized people for the better part of 3 decades. Then when it come out, then now he wants some sympathy. Where was the sympathy when you were busting them people backsides up? You ain't feel no type of way. You didn't feel shame. You didn't feel, you know what I'm saying? You didn't mind, I'm going to quit music for a while and go off and because your conscience was fooling with you. The only way it's fooling with you now is because now the consequences has come. Even in my personal situation, in the individual in question, you're not mad because of whatever you're saying I did and all that. You're mad now because the consequences of years of your actions are now catching up with you. And now you want to blame someone else for the decisions you made. It's real out here. Oh, I got, oh, gosh, I forget her name. I'm sorry, y'all. But she had, because I couldn't find no beet juice, right? So she was saying how I should go to the, like a vegan shop or something like that. And I'll get around to her. But today, y'all, I'm highlighting the good old carrot juice. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. It got to stay harmonious. And in the midst of the spiritual warfare, I just got to keep on and stay at peace. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing, yo. Oh, you fight hard to get peace. Now here they come messing with your peace, effing with your peace. Leave me be. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't messing with your peace when you slanging your guts all over time. You know what I mean? Y'all found it tripping though, right? I'm just talking now, yeah. Like initially, I'll take care of my child, because at best I help it. I like for the white folk not being my business, yo. We should be able to woot the woot, right? So I didn't actually get put on child support until I got in another relationship. Know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you know what I'm saying, you kicking out the guts to whoever you want to kick it out to, right? So you would think, oh, okay, I'm doing me, you know what I'm saying, I ain't worried about him. And then when I get in a relationship, now all of a sudden you break off from bouncing on dinnerlands to go put me on child support. Yo, these people wild, yo. Yo, they a joke, yo. I gotta laugh it off at this point, like. And what I'm perceiving is the fictitious stuff, these falsehoods that they're alleging, they in their mind, they actually believe that's true. That's why I was saying in previous videos, like, you can't really talk to nobody who ain't trying to comprehend them, who's constructed this thing in their mind, or the demonic entity inside of them has convinced them, or they're given over to a strong delusion. They actually believe everything that's going wrong with them is your fault, even though you wasn't around when they did it. This is the same individual that's claiming credit for stuff I did when they wasn't around that they haven't done themselves. I found that highly disrespectful. I ain't gonna lie, though. The version of the Toothless Wonder that's before y'all today is because of an individual that I ain't dealt with in over a decade. That's mind-boggling. And these folk believe. That's why I don't be feeling need to talk to them. I mean, I'll try just for GP, but they don't never go nowhere. Because we end up talking about, you're responsible for aliens landing on my roof. Huh? Yeah. All right, shout. You know what I mean? You can't go nowhere, yo. Excuse me. You can't go nowhere. So the only way you can fight a lot of times is fight legally. And a lot of times they're not used to men exercising their rights that a lot of times we don't even know we got. You know what I mean? In reference to certain things like my child live with me now, right? But she still wants to hold on to financial benefits in relation to the child that are for the child, and the child don't live with her. Like, she made statement, the child don't live with you. So I'm like, where she live at, yo? But again, she's holding on. She wants to hold on to the financial benefit of the child, but don't care nothing about the child at all. And this is sad, yo, where these women, they no longer desire to be, like when little girl, like, I want to be a wife and I want to be a mommy, and they play with little dolls and, pretend having a family and playing house and all that. Not these Jones. The kids are only beneficial to them if finance is involved. If the finance wasn't involved, the kids are holding back from bouncing on dinglings, yo. That's all they know, yo. Yo, they have destroyed our women, yo. This is sad, yo. You feel me? It reminds me of Kunta Kinte when he went back to go get his woman. And she told him, I'm master such and such bedwinner. I can give you some box, but not, you know what I'm saying? I'm something totally different now. Paraphrase, man, Kunta was heartbroken. I don't even think he kept running. He was like, man, what's the point in getting free? I can't get my woman. He went on back on the planet, like, destroyed him, cuz. The dream he had in his mind, destroyed. But in his heart, to the day he died, he was still dreaming for freedom. Yes, sir. That was the only thing kept him going. That one day, possibly, I can escape this madness. And on that note, man, I'ma holla at y'all. Ooh,